The sixth-generation fighter jet is the new king of the skies in military power. Equipped with next-generation weapons and technology, the KF-21 Boramae is widely feared by the aviation industry because its state-of-the-art capabilities make it an ideal fighter jet for World War III. What is special about this sixth-generation fighter jet, and why is it a prospect jet for World War III? Every country loves owning the best military technologies and facilities, so we get to see mind-blowing fighter jets like the KF-21 Boramae. The fighter jet's development started as an initiative to enhance South Korea's defense against threats coming from its insane neighbor, North Korea, which had spent the last 60 years attacking South Korea. Although the close military alliance between South Korea and the United States has helped maintain South Korea's sovereignty, South Korean leaders kept working towards having their technologies and tactics to strengthen their military so they wouldn't have to rely on the Americans for backup. One area in which South Korea sought to become more independent of America was in aerospace technology, which led to the innovation of the KF-21 Boramae fighter. The South Korean Air Force saw the need to bring in an advanced multirole fighter to replace the F-4 Phantom and the F-5 Tiger, two aging aircraft that have been in the South Korean military since the 1960s. When engineers saw that the cost of developing a traditional combat fighter was more expensive than importing aircraft from overseas, a program to design and develop fighter aircraft locally was signed to create and maintain a local military aviation manufacturing industry. Afterward, plans to acquire a new imported fighter jet kicked in. Planning for the KF-21 project started as early as March 2001, but the aircraft's development requirements and formal research were announced by the Korean General Staff in 2002. The program dragged on for years due to design and funding difficulties until a comprehensive feasibility study restored the project to progress in 2008. The KF-21 features comprise the elements of the expensive 5th generation on a 4th generation platform, making the fighter jet more affordable to the South Korean government. The plane's final design had the exact dimensions as the prototype models, with a height of over 15 feet, a wingspan of over 36 feet, and a length of 55 feet. While the plane is not technically stealthy, its radar cross-section is low enough to make it look like a stealth plane. When empty, the KF-21 weighs 26,000 pounds, while its gross weight is 37,900 pounds. Its maximum takeoff weight, though, is 56,000 pounds. The KF-21 Boramae is powered by twin General Electric afterburning turbofans, just like the F-18 Super Hornet and the new versions of the JAS-39 Gripen. The engines propel the KF-21 to a top speed of Mach 1.8, and an unrefueled range of 29,000 kilometers, with all controls done in a single pilot seater. However, there are ongoing conversations about other variants of the KF-21 having a dual-seater version, which could open up more room for the KF-21 to be more capable of multi-role missions. Like other modern combat aircraft, the supersonic KF-21 fighter will be equipped with an autocannon for both aerial and ground use, but it's not yet clear if the plane's gun type would be a chain gun or multi-barrel. The KF-21 has 10 hardpoints, 6 located under the wings and 4 under the plane's fuselage, which allows the carriage of missiles in a semi-stealthy way. The KF-21's belly points may be replaced with shrouded or covered weapons stations in other production upgrades. But just like the Western weaponry, the KF-21 will be able to carry and use a wide range of locally produced ordnance, like sophisticated ground attack munitions and air-to-air missiles. According to the Korean aerospace industry, the KF-21 is the very first of the next-generation jets South Korea owns, and most of its components will be imported. For instance, it will be powered by an electric engine manufactured under license by Hanwha Aerospace Turbofan. However, with the signature to create and maintain a local military aviation manufacturing industry, it is sure that the Koreans would still find a way to indigenize the program over time. The South Korean aerospace industry will also create 3 more variants of the KF-21, namely the KF-21EA, EX, and SA. The KF-21EA will be based on the two-seat prototype KF-21B and include a dedicated electronic warfare officer stationed in the heavily modified rear cockpit. This Boramae variant will have 3 electronic attacks and 2 electronic intelligence devices to allow the aircraft to carry out its electronic warfare role. The KF-21EA is being designed to protect Allied aircraft during missions by employing its jamming technology to interfere with hostile ground-based air defense systems, much like the US Navy's EA-18G Growler. It will be equipped with anti-radiation missiles that will suppress enemy air defense missions. In contrast, the KF-21EX variant is being developed with capabilities that would allow the Boramae to compete with 5th-generation fighter jets. To achieve this, the aircraft will feature an internal weapons bay. Given that weaponry will be carried internally like the F-22 and F-35, an internal weapon base would reduce the aircraft's radar signature and allow the KF-21 to achieve genuine 5th-generation stealth capabilities. Additionally, external target acquisition equipment will also be changed to a built-in type to further enhance stealth performance, and other active electronic injection radar and self-defense electronic warfare equipment are also expected to be improved. The KF-21EX would likely play a critical role in developing the next air combat system, a future network that uses satellite data linkages and unmanned aerial vehicles. The third variant of the KF-21, codenamed the KF-21SA, would be specially designed to meet the demands of export clients. The KF-21SA would enable the customization of armaments and internal equipment to match specific country requirements, while maintaining the basic specs that closely resemble the South Korean military's model. That said, developing a particular export variant of the jet aligns with South Korea's newly acquired reputation as an Asian defense manufacturing giant. The country has already received orders for its FA-50 light attack aircraft and is placing big hopes in the next generation aircraft to debut in the heavy, multi-role fighter jet market. However, some people have criticized the KF-21 as a cheap knockoff of the American F-35 Lightning II fighter. It does look like a cheaper form of the F-35 though, don't you think? These criticisms came towards the KF-21 because it was initially conceived as an evolutionary project that would acquire more advanced capabilities later on. For example, the airframe is built with a reduced radar cross-section, similar to 5th-generation fighters, but it lacks internal bays, like 5th-generation fighters. Carrying weapons externally increases the aircraft's visibility on radar. Internal bays and other advanced features are planned to be introduced in later development. The plan is to develop it from an air superiority fighter to a multi-role air superiority fighter. Lockheed Martin, the makers of the F-22A Raptor and the F-35 Lightning II, assisted South Korea in the design of this 4th-generation plus warplane. Many commented on the striking similarities between the two American planes and the KF-21 Boramae. While stealthier than older 4th-generation warplanes, the reason that the KF-21 is not considered to be a stealth plane is that there are no internal weapons bays. Instead, the plane's ordnance package is attached to 9 or 10 external hardpoints, depending on its model. Thus, radars will be able to determine whether the KF-21 is a warplane. This will be a multi-role fighter. What's more, most of its communication, combat, and radar components had to be built within South Korea. Because of this, the cost of producing the plane, which was already high since it first went into production in 2015, has exploded. Therefore, the South Korean government has had to drastically reduce its previous order of the plane. The original plan was to make the Boramae the backbone of the South Korean Air Force by 2026. The year that the first batch of KF-21 planes would be deployed by Seoul. The initial order was for 40, with plans to have as many as 120 KF-21 units in South Korea's air fleet by the 2030s. That first order was divided by the government of Seoul. Only 20 Boramaes will be integrated into the South Korean Air Force in 2026, and another 20 will come a year later. Despite these budgetary constraints, the KF-21 Boramae remains the perfect aircraft for South Korea, as it is more advanced than what its North Korean foes currently possess. The KF-21 will carry an impressive array of advanced weapons wedded to a fast engine, meaning its stealth-like capability will make it more difficult to shoot down than other 4th-generation warplanes. The plane's indigenous construction means it can be repaired and rebuilt with relative ease. Many air forces found that installing an actively electronically scanned array radar in fighter jets makes them more valuable weapons for aerial combat duties. Apart from this low-cost choice, several countries commissioned upgrades of traditional aircraft like the Super Hornet, or more recent designs like the European Typhoon or French Rafale, which are both 4.5 generation aircraft. The KF-21 is part of the latter, but is more advanced due to its increased stealth capabilities. Even though the F-35A stealth fighter is still being produced by the Republic of Korea Armed Forces, the KF-21 program is still underway to deliver 120-plus aircraft to Korea, alongside a smaller number of planes for the Indonesian Air Force. The KF-21 Boramae was built in collaboration with Indonesia, which also had the same interests as South Korea in increasing its military capabilities. Other countries like Poland also showed interest in adding some KF-21 fighters once they're ready. However, reports in South Korea media have indicated that Indonesia is looking to renegotiate its involvement in the joint development of the KF-21 Boramae combat aircraft. Concerned over costs incurred in joint development projects, incoming President-elect and current Defense Minister Prabowo Subianto is looking to trim Indonesia's financial share in the KF-21 program. Making matters between the two partners worse, South Korean authorities arrested 2 Indonesian engineers working at Korea Aerospace Industries for reportedly trying to steal confidential technical data on the program back in March. The matter is now subject to a major police investigation in South Korea. Reports also show that the Indonesian side has been unhappy with the level of technology transfer offered by South Korea so far. Still, Indonesia appears to remain interested in purchasing the full lot of 48 KF-21s, which would be built locally at a state-owned PT Dirgantara Indonesia facility. The country's Defense Acquisition Program Administration is believed to be ready to accept Indonesia's reduced cost share, but with the caveat that Jakarta will receive fewer technology transfers in return. But do you think this is the best choice for South Korea to make over the KF-21 Boramae? Should they keep this next-generation jet to themselves, or share it for export to other countries? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below.